Good afternoon. I'm Sean Yao and this is One News Now. Unvaccinated and partially vaccinated workers will no longer be exempted from the no vaccination, no ride policy 1 month from today. Transportation Undersecretary Artemio Tuazon told One Balita Pilipinas that workers will be given 30 days to complete their COVID-19 vaccine doses if they want to access public transportation. After the 1-month grace period, only fully vaccinated workers will be allowed to ride public transportation in the NCR. Tuazon clarified that the new policy only covers workers, meaning other exemptions will still apply.
Yun pati po yung ating exemption dati ng DO po na patungkol po naman sa ating mga kababayan na hindi po pwedeng tumanggap ng bakuna for medical purposes, ay tuloy pa po rin yung exemption na yon. Yun din po sa ating mga kababayan lumalabas po to access essential goods and services.
Medical frontliners are opposing the health department's new compensation scheme, where COVID-19 allowances will be dependent on one's exposure. Camille Samonte with the rest of the details.
Medical frontliners from Philippine General Hospital have expressed their disappointment over the new compensation scheme of the Health Department. The PGH-UP Workers Union criticized the timing of its proposal with the ongoing surge of COVID-19 infections and shortage of health workers in the country. The DOH will be implementing its One COVID-19 Allowance program, which will replace the Special Risk Allowance and Active Hazard Duty Pay for health workers. The agency said the allowance will depend on the COVID-19 exposure classification. Those deemed high risk will be given 9,000 pesos, while health workers classified as moderate and low risk will be given 6,000 and 3,000 pesos respectively. For PGH-UP Workers Union, this compensation scheme is unjust and an insult to all medical frontliners.
Lahat po ng nasa hospital ay high risk. Mas marami po ang nai-infect na non-COVID dahil sila po yung talagang kumbaga mas downgrade yung PPE.
They were also not consulted by the DOH regarding this program. What's worse is that they still haven't received the full payment for their meals, accommodation, and transportation allowance under the Bayanihan 2 law. With this, the group thinks it will now be more difficult to get adequate and equitable benefits.
Nakakadala na talaga ang ginagawa ng DOH, ginagawa ng gobyerno sa amin, dire-diretsong duty. Pero pag eto na, singilan na ng benepisyo, laging pahirapan.
According to Malacanang, the One COVID allowance is now being discussed in Congress.
Importante po yung source of funds na ma-identify po talaga natin ang source of funding at saan kukunin yung pondo para dyan.
The Alliance of Health Workers, however, is not convinced with this. For them, the new compensation scheme is discriminatory.
Dapat hindi kinaklasify kasi ang virus naman, hindi naman siya dumadapo, ay taga-admin ka, low risk lang ako or moderate lang ako sa iyo. Kaya nakakalungkot kasi instead na pag-isahin o pagkaisahin ng mga health workers, nag-aaway-aaway na ngayon.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Three Comelec officials are set to retire next week, prompting concerns on the delay of election activities. Jen Calimon with the report.
Three top positions in the Commission on Elections will be left vacant starting next week. This as Comelec Chairman Sharif Abbas, Commissioners Rowena Guanzon and Antonio Co Jr. will retire by February 2. Comelec spokesperson James Jimenez said that outgoing officials have started endorsing operational matters to the sitting officials. However, delays are expected on a petition they are handling once this will be turned over to incoming commissioners.
The problem kasi with letting incoming commissioners handle it is that there will have to be a study period, right? Because the incoming commissioners will not have had the opportunity to actually participate in the deliberations of the case. So mag-aaral pa yan sila.
In an interview with PhilStar's Maritu Villanueva this morning, Jimenez said that the retirement of the 3 officials will not affect the upcoming elections.
Magkakaroon ng acting chairman po, walang problema dyan. But the issue is, 4 ang matitira, which means quorum lang.
Majority.
Quorum lang. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na sila pwedeng magtrabaho ng kahit ano pang iba. Diba? Kasi nga, hindi sila pwedeng mawala. So, palagi silang naka-sequester. But hopefully, makapag-appoint naman kaagad-agad. Ang challenge na po dyan, syempre, yung learning curve. Diba? Dapat yung bagong pasok, mag-get niya kaagad yung trabahong gagawin niya.
Meanwhile, the Comelec-sponsored debates for national positions are now in place. The poll body has identified potential venues for the debates. There will be 2 formats for this. One is with a single moderator, while the other is a town hall debate. This will be held once a month or at least 3 times for each position during the entire campaign period. Although Comelec hopes that every candidate will be present in the debates, Jimenez clarifies that their attendance is not mandatory.
And it's never been mandatory, in fact. But in our history, sa experience natin, nakikita natin na kapag Comelec ang nag-organize, 100% attendance po naman. No? Maliban na lang kung merong legitimate na health concerns, no, na nakita natin in the past. But other than that, the compliance of the candidates have been very good, mainly because alam nila na pag hindi sila sumipot, talagang sila ang pag-uusapan.
He also reminded candidates to declare unspent campaign funds truthfully. Candidates are not required to return excess funds to their donors. However, the poll body says that it will be considered part of a candidate's income and is therefore subject to tax. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
The National Telecommunications Commission confirms that a company linked to businessman Manny Villar is taking over ABS-CBN's frequencies. The NTC says that the Villar-linked Advanced Media Broadcasting System has been granted a provisional authority to operate channels 2 and 16. The agency says they consulted with the Justice Department and other offices before the issuance of the permit. It added that AMBS's application to install, operate, and maintain a digital TV network in Metro Manila had already been filed way back in 2006. Recall that ABS-CBN was forced to go off air after the House of Representatives rejected its franchise renewal bid in 2020. The NTC also allowed the transfer of other ABS-CBN frequency assets. Aliu Broadcasting Corporation was given the go signal to operate Channel 23, while the Suarasug Media Corporation, which runs Pastor Quiboloy's Sunshine Media Network, acquired the rights to Channel 43. Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Justice Department indicted 4 individuals involved in the hacking of over 700 BDO accounts last year. The DOJ says the 5th suspect is still undergoing investigation. They will be charged for violating the Access Devices Regulation Act and the Cybercrime Prevention Act. A lower house panel recommends the filing of charges against Health Secretary Francisco Duque III and former FDA Chief Eric Domingo. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability said the 2 were slow to approve applications for COVID-19 medications. And the Octa Research Group says that Metro Manila is now under high-risk classification for COVID-19. This is lower or down from severe outbreak status that we were on last week. The 7-day average cases in the NCR have gone down to almost 6,300 in the last week, from more than 15,000 in the week before that. Octa expects Metro Manila to be at moderate risk by next week. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, Wash hands and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.